Hello, welcome to another Gundam Battle Operation 2 video, and that is the new suit, the Advanced Hazel. And yeah, another Advanced Zeta suit, which I believe this year is the year of the rabbit, so I believe that is the common logo that's in Advanced Zeta, so I'm guessing we'll probably get a few more, just a few more, right, for the entire year. No, we're probably going to get a whole bunch. There's a whole lot of Hazel variants and all that good stuff. But yeah, we have the Advanced Hazel, and yeah, this is our second Advanced Zeta support. I believe our first one was, actually no, this would be our third. We had the Garibaldi, High Mobility Garibaldi Beta at 500, and we have the High-Zak Cannon Increased Armor at 450. So now we have a 550 support. Also uses the Hazel Beam Rifle, so that's another Hazel Beam Rifle suit, so, I mean, I'm not complaining, it's a pretty good, really good weapon. But, yeah, before we get started, I have two matches here for you. This first match, I was going to make it the second match, but I kind of just kept it there just to showcase a little bit of how good it can do on its own. And I mean that almost literally because the second match is I had a whole bunch of ace matches that were just losses, and not because I was doing bad, just, you know, ace matches and how they can be turbulent half the time. I decided to go to rating and do a match. We had Supply Depot, and we have 3 supports, and yeah, we'll see how we can do. I think at one time, I think I even tried to handle a raid on my own. So again, we'll see how that goes. And this first match is actually from the second day. For me, it'll be the second day of the suit coming out, which would be Thursday. And yeah, I've had plenty of really good matches, and we'll get into that the further we go along in this video. So let's go ahead and get to the stats. I did mention this is a 550 support. You have 16,000 health with 24 ballistic and beam resistance. You have 18 melee resistance with 30 range strength, 25 melee strength, 110 movement speed with 170 boost speed, which that's a lie, 45 thruster gauge, which is also a lie, and 60 turning speed. And the reason I'm calling the boost speed and thruster gauge a lie is because you do have a skill in this game. I believe it's the same skill the High Mobility Hazel has. I think. I have to go double check on that. That is, it has Shield Booster Custom, and what that does is, depending on the amount of shield that you have, you will go faster, or you'll have decrease in thruster gauge when you start boosting. So even though this thing has 45 thruster gauge, it actually is a lot more. You'll notice that I am not boosting for a short amount of time. I can boost for quite a while. And if I'm using my force injectors, it doesn't immediately just get rid of my my thruster gauge. Kind of like when the Hama first came out. Yeah, no, that was garbage. It had less thruster gauge in the fucking gun tank when it first came out. It's fine now, but yeah. And for the 170 boost speed, I believe that 170 goes up to 195, which makes it in the top fastest supports. I believe there's a few more that are faster than it. But I can't name them off the top of my head. I have to go look at. I think it might be the Kshatriya or the maybe the Super Gundam. One of those. Definitely a few. But yeah, that's still pretty fast for this suit to be at this cost. And again, the thruster gauge is not 45. So yeah, you can do quite a bit of schmoovin' with this suit. Alright, now we're on to, oh, actually, the slots. For slots, you have 10 close, 9 mid, and 21 long-range slots. Obviously, they kind of want you to build more for range strength. And honestly, that's kind of what I went for both of these rounds, actually. I went for, I believe I have 54 or 52 range strength. And, yeah, let me tell you something. When we get to the weapons, I mean, you can probably already see it here in this video. Yeah, you will just smelt the hell out of generals. This thing does not skimp out in range damage. It is quite brutal if you can get a combo off on somebody. And it still has really good melee damage as well. So I've seen some people get a thruster and melee build going on for this suit. And honestly, yeah, it seems like it can work just fine. With the if you're not getting interrupted, you're still missing a dodge roll maneuver armor. So keep that in mind as we get to the skills and all that good stuff. So yeah, honestly, range build for me was the way to go, and I've been getting a lot of good matches just doing that. Unfortunately, you do have lower health pool with 16,000 health, and you do have and you do have 18 melee resistance. It's not going to be hard at all for a raid to walk up to you, and if it bypasses your shield, then you're pretty much just dead. You know, typical stuff. I think for this build, along with the range strength, I also added a little bit of just a smidge of melee resistance. That way, in case I run into a general, I can at least survive a little bit longer. 'Cause, you know, 18 is still fine against a general, depending on the suit. You know, I just want to bump it up a little bit more, at least above 20, to kind of help out a little bit. And I believe also bumped up the beam resistance to 27, so that way, you know, well, beams do less damage to me, so. Overall, yeah, just more, I'm more like just damage, pretty much. With a little bit more tankiness. And, yeah, now we're going on to the weapons. And yeah, starting off with your primary weapons, of course, you have the Hazel beam rifle, returning once more. Pretty much, I'm almost convinced that it's going to be on every AOZ suit. The only one it's not on is the Hyzak cannon. And yeah, it has 1,900 damage with 4 rounds, 300 range. You can charge this, and of course, like always, if you do charge it, it will consume 3 shots out of your ammo. So, however, it does not affect it if, like, it doesn't affect the damage if you only have 2 or 1 shot left. 2 shots or 1 shot left, right? You can just charge that and do the same amount of damage as if you had 3 shots. So honestly, you can just shoot 3 normal rounds that will instant stun, and then you can finish off with a charge stun, or, you know, you can do a charge stun and finish off with a normal stun. And the normal stun, as I just said, is a instant stun, and the charge shot, as always, is a penetration. And yeah, because this thing is a support and it has more range strength, yeah, it's not common. It's not uncommon to casually just, you know, dish out 5,000 damage to a general, depending on the resistances, of course. Yeah, it does a lot of damage when you charge it up, and when I'm doing uncharged, it's like 2,500. So yeah, definitely a pretty beastly weapon in the hands of support, as we've seen with the high mobility Garibaldi beta. So on this suit, it's almost no different. It's still just as destructive. And now for your melee weapon, you have the Hazel Beam Saber, which is 2,200 damage. This is the same beam saber that's on the Hazel Custom, and I believe it shares the same moveset, including the downswing. It's not strictly the Federation downswing, but it looks kind of similar. The whole diagonal swing going on, right? It's not as wide-reaching, but it's still really good at catching people, as always. And yeah, again, the melee is pretty good on this suit. As you saw, I think I did 3,000, 2,000, almost close to 3,000 damage on the Gyaradoga, and I believe against some other generals. So combine that with the 5,000 damage charge shot of the Hazel Beam Rifle. Yeah, easy chunking combo there. And that's not even without adding in the other weapons you have, which, hey, now we're on to the secondary weapons, so let's see what else you can do to kill somebody. You have the Advanced Hazel Grenade Launcher, which is 600 damage per shot with 4 rounds and 400 range. This is a stun accumulation weapon. It will not instant stun. It will take 3 of the 4 rounds to get a stun for against somebody. And these things actually have quite a big blast radius. I believe if two enemies are like one's behind another, I believe if I remember correctly in the testing video, I shot the guy in front of the dude, and the guy was still taking damage. So that's how big the blast radius is. You can hit through people. And honestly, I think during the beginning of this match against a Dryson, you saw me actually use it at close range and managed to hit the Dryson as he was passing along. So honestly, yeah, very good weapon at... oh, hey, real fast. Mission completed. Let's see how we did this first round real fast. Good works all around. And, hey, top individual score with almost 4,000, 3,700. And gonna get some praises out, and we'll see what our placement is. And, hey, second place, 5 and 2. Decent pursuit assist. Okay assist score, you know, 4th in that, and almost 100k damage. So, yeah, pretty nice. Now we're on to the three support match on Supply Depot. Normally, 2 supports is honestly fine half the time on Supply Depot. 3 supports, though, you're kind of asking for it. It kind of depends on how your team was set up, right? But we'll see how this goes. But yeah, back to the grenade launcher. You can shoot those while moving forward. You cannot shoot them while boosting, though. I kind of wish you did, so that way you can do like a downswing combo and then boost away to use your missiles or your grenade launchers. But unfortunately, you can't do that. You can move all. I'll take moving them, right? You don't have to stand still. So. And of course, it's ballistic damage. It'll do some good damage against low ballistic enemies. And you'll see, I believe, actually, it might have been that last match where there was a mass production Haikushiki Kai, and yeah, I think each grenade was doing over 1,000 damage. So, yeah, pretty good. And of course, if a teammate is, let's say you downswung a enemy, and a teammate comes around to do his combo, well, hey, you can just shoot through your teammate pretty much because of how big the blast radius is on the grenade launchers. So yeah, pretty good follow-up weapon, pretty good for adding in for a stun accumulation, combined with the next weapon we'll mention, and yeah, just good damage. So yeah. Now on to the second secondary weapon. You have the Enhanced SB Beam Cannon, which is 250 damage per shot, which doesn't sound a whole lot, but you fire multiple rounds at the same time. You have a 10% excuse me, 10% heat rate with 250 range, and you can charge this. And yeah, as you guys see here, yeah, nailing everybody with all those shots can do a lot of damage, especially if you have 54 range strength. It's not uncommon to almost half health a general depending on their beam resistance. And of course, it does count as a stun accumulation weapon. However, it does take a majority of the shots to get a stun, which if you're fighting an enemy who's, you know, trying to evade the shot, trying to boost side to side, all that good stuff, it's definitely going to require more than one shot to get a stun. It's definitely very helpful against somebody that's charging directly towards you with maneuver armor, because, you know, obviously you can't stun them with your Hazel beam rifle, so you'll just shoot them with the shield, and of course, if they're boosting towards you and they're just dead-eye, just locked onto you, and they're not going to move, they're going to get stunned. So there you go, there's an easy stun accumulation right there. And of course, it does help out against raid. They're definitely doing that. However, again, if they're boosting, if they're trying to evade the attack, it is going to take at least two shots to get a stun with the barrage here. Now, the good thing is it does have a very short cooldown time between shots. You probably noticed that in the last match, where I believe it's 0.8 seconds between shots. So you can fire once, and then you'll fire again. Again, really adds up damage against enemies, specifically generals. And combining that with your other weapons, if you don't want to get in the in front of your teammate that's trying to do their melee combo, this is a pretty good weapon follow-up with as well. You know, combine that with the grenade launcher. Speaking of the grenade launcher, you can actually get a pretty fast stun if you manage to hit at least 2 of the grenades, and then follow up with your shield. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a little bit harder to do in a match because, you know, you're throwing out grenades and then having to go in with your shield. Not the way the grenades arc is going to be a little bit harder, right? But still, you know, that's still a stun accumulation you can try and do. I've done it at least once. And yeah, pretty much if you hit the 2 grenades and then go into the shield, that will pretty much be a instant stun with how fast you'll get a stun because of the amount of shots you're firing out of the shield. So yeah, this thing is really good at close range. It just schmelts generals. However, if you do charge this, it will schmelt them even more. You gain a lot more range, I believe. Oh god, how much? I'm gonna hard guess it right now. I'm going to say 350 to 400 range. It's probably a little bit more, maybe. But if you do fully charge that shield, it will shoot significantly farther. Oh my god, I'm really fucking my words here. Significantly farther, and it will hit pretty damn hard. I think I've gotten 4,000, 5,000, a lot of damage hitting with the shield. And because of the Hazel beam rifle having a short ready-up time when you pull it out, that's an easy stun lock. You stun with the shield. By the way, yeah, all the shots in the shield, they will stun, by the way. It's not a stun accumulation. If you shoot somebody with the shield, that's a stun. Go into the beam rifle, that's a stun lock. And obviously, you can just run in with your melee or your missiles for even further damage. So yeah, this thing can just dish out the damage. A lot. Alright, now on to your shields. You have the Enhanced Shield Booster, which is 4,000 health, and it's considered a large size shield. Ooh, one more thing about the shield weapon, the beam cannon, is that when you do use it, you hold, if you can see right here, you actually hold it out in front of you. You actually hold it like a shield. So you can actually use that to position a shield to block hits, which is quite nice. So yeah, you can definitely keep that in mind when somebody's shooting at you. You can try and attempt to block, right? So yeah. Alright, but yeah, and you have the Enhanced Shield Booster, which, as I said, 4,000 health, and it's considered a large size shield. And you have the Shield Booster ×2, which is, well, yeah, the shield's on top of you. And each one has 3,500 health, and they are considered large size shields. Actually, I can't remember if they're both separate entities, or, I know it says ×2, or if they're both considered the same thing, and they have 3,500 health. So, but either way. And again, as we mentioned, those are attached to your shield skill, which we'll get into when we get to the skills. And yeah, speaking of skills, You have radar level 2, you have data link, so you can see people's health, you have aerospace gimbal, which you can tilt up and down further in space, you have shock absorber level 3, you have enhanced tackle level 4, so you do more damage when you tackle, you have balancers, which, yeah, you can stop while boosting to either tackle or get a melee swing off, excuse me. You do have force injectors, so you can boost back and forth, and you have AMBAC level 2, so that's more of a space skill. That's where if you're boosting and you stop boosting while holding the opposite direction of where you're going, you'll stop in space. You will go immediately into cruise mode, which, yeah, can work pretty well. Although you'd have force injectors kind of help out with that as well. And finally, you have the Shield Booster Custom, and essentially, it's kind of like the... I'm pretty sure, as I think I mentioned earlier, I think it's kind of like the High Mobility Hazel's skill, shield skill, if not the same thing, where as long as you have a shield on you, you'll have increased boost speed and decreased thruster consumption while boosting, as long as you have at least a shield. As long as you have a shield, you will not be down to 45 thruster gauge with 170 boost speed. As I said, if you have all three out, that will be 195 boost speed, and definitely not 40 thruster gauge when all three are there. So yeah, pretty nice skill to have on the suit. It also allows you to boost in midair if you're falling down. Like if you jump out of from on top of a building, you can just start boosting. Yeah, as soon as you're in the air, which is pretty nice. I think you can probably do something like jumping too, but honestly, boosting's probably the better option. But yeah, that is it for the Advanced Hazel. And I gotta say, pretty damn good suit, at least what I've played so far. Let's get into the pros and cons. Actually, before we do, let's go ahead and wrap up the end of the second match here. The only reason we are about to win right now is because a teammate has captured a point. So this was a very, very close match, less than 100 points in difference for a win. So yeah, that was a pretty good match. I will take that. So yeah, mission completed, and hey, 4,000 individual score and over 100k damage. Easy with the amount of damage you can do. Yeah, so easy with this suit. Gonna praise the raid, and hey, first place 6-2. Yeah, not too much in assist score, unfortunately, and not too much in pursuit assist, but yeah. Pros and cons. Let's go into the cons first. First of all, for cons, you do have lower health. You do have 16,000 health, and you do have lower melee resistance with 18. So it's not very hard for some melee-oriented suits to kind of just, since you don't have maneuver armor or a dodge roll, they can just stun you if they get around the shield. Right? If they get around the shield, they can stun you and then just yeah, go crazy on you with melee. And yeah, you have to be really careful since this suit is very close oriented or closer ranged oriented. You can do a little bit mid range, right? You'd have to be careful because there's been a few moments. I mentioned those ace matches I played before the second match here on the night the suit came out. There's plenty of times where I'm pushing with my team, and then my team goes to push and make a front line, and then the raid just kind of sneaks in, kind of snakes his way in to engage me, and it's like, well, fuck, okay, well, I'm kind of dead, you know. So you have to really be careful how you approach the enemy team, but you can do a lot. You can do a lot with this suit, which I think that might be it for the cons, is that, you know, you do have the support tax of not having a dodge roll or maneuver armor, which is unfortunate. All I know is that we'll probably never get that kind of stuff for a support for a long time. Unfortunate, but anyway, the shield skill is still pretty nice on this suit. It's not the Hazel Customs, but I'll take it. You do have balancers and really good weapons. And of course, the other downside is the lower resistances in terms of melee and health. So for pros, my bad. For pros is yeah, really high damaging weapons. Really effective. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the damage score here. Yeah, each shot was just chunking generals, And if you can get a full combo off with this suit, that general is just going to be hurting. He's going to be hurting a lot. The Hazel Beam Rifle has shown how reliable it is, even at a cost like 600 with the Hazeltly. The Hazel Beam Rifle is just a really good weapon, as I mentioned previously on every other suit that can use that. Pretty much all the Advanced Zeta suits. You do have really good other weapons too. The enhanced SB beam cannon shield that does do a lot of damage as well. Really good potential maneuver armor breaking if somebody's just straight dashing at you. You do have to be careful with that though, because it will take more than one shot if somebody knows what they're doing against you. So it might be a little bit more of a con. I guess I'll say decent maneuver armor breaking, not like super excellent, right? Depending on the situation. But again, you can just dish out the damage. The Advanced Hazel Grenade Launcher, good follow-up weapon, good for extending some combo damage, pretty nice. And of course, the shields, you have 3 shields on you. However, I think the top shield that you have, that's probably more useful for space than on ground. There's a very few moments where that top shield's ever come into play. However, it is very helpful for the skills that you have, or at least the shield booster skill, which is another positive for the suit. You do have the ability to boost in midair, and of course, you do have more thruster gauge, and you have more boost speed while you have that skill out. And the best part is, even if your shields do get destroyed, you do end up being faster because of it. So I've never had a match where all 3 of my shields have been destroyed at once or at a time, you know? So I'll at least always not be fucked over by my OG stats, my original stats. So keep that in mind. You're pretty much going to die before you run out of your shields. I think I've rarely ever seen suits with multiple shields lose all of them, like the full armor Thunderbolt Gundam, or the Thunderbolt full armor Gundam, or the high mobility Hazel. I have hardly seen it where all their shields get destroyed. So that you don't have to worry about that too much. And you do have some other nice skills as well. You have balancers. Thank God. I really wish more high cost supports would have balancers. This one does, and it does work out really well. And you do have enhanced tackle, so you can do more damage while tackling to extend, your combos. You also do have force injectors, which is really, really nice to have. This suit can move pretty well in space, and even on ground, with the increased boost speed, you can catch up a little bit with your team and set up for stuff, or help your team just dish out damage. I cannot underestimate the when I say that. A lot of damage with the suit, a lot of damage potential, I'll say that. It's not guaranteed, of course, because again, you do have to play a little bit closer. But yeah, that's it for the Advanced Hazel, and pretty damn good suit. I do recommend you guys, if you guys want to pull for this, definitely do so. However, you have to be careful. It's 2-star, and for some reason 2 stars feel like they're more rare than 3 stars. Sometimes even 4 stars, but actually, I think you might be better off getting a 4-star than a 2-star half the time. Yeah, it's a really nice support. Very different from your typical kind of long range support. And honestly, having played this and the RS-Jarja initially, I way prefer this suit over the RS-Jarja. Now, obviously, the RS-Jarja has been buffed a couple of times now, so I did have a buffed or scuffed over the RS-Jarja. Maybe I need to play a little bit more of the RS-Jarja to get a feel, but to compare it between these two suits, right? Or between this suit, my bad. But yeah, the Advanced Hazel, it feels like pretty nice. I think the shield is what really helps it out at close range. You have potential to actually block incoming damage. With the RS-Jarja, you kind of just have to hope you don't get shot. Meanwhile, with the Hazel, you have potential to absorb that stun and then continue your combo. And I think that's actually happened once or twice in these 2 matches, which again, that's a lot more helpful than just fucking hoping you don't get shot. So I think the Advanced Hazel, I think it's a very nice suit. A lot of damage potential. I think it can play really well with a good team. Yeah, this thing, I can see this thing being more common if people want to roll for it. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe if you want. I'd really appreciate it. And, you know, type up in the comment section how you feel about the Advanced Hazel. Do you like it? Do you hate it? And as you can already probably tell, I really do enjoy the suit. Again, I've had really good matches with this. I felt like I've been doing something with my team. And of course, you'll have a few bad egg matches where, yeah, the race is going to slip on by. I'm not going to be able to do anything. But again, if you have a good team with you, this suit will do the work. Believe me on that. Again, this thing helped me up to S-, so I did it. Hopefully, I say hopefully, hopefully we can get some more supports that kind of have that feel really good to play at close range. I know they did buff the Zaku IV recently, and that suit actually feels a lot better now than when it originally came out. And you know, apparently from what I heard, the RS-Jarja has been doing fine. So hopefully, you know, maybe we can get a little bit more out of these close range support units. The Hazel, I think, is a step closer to what Man, we're so close to having a support maneuver armor. Oh, please, Bandai. Please, at least just give it the Hazel shield skill, please. Just attach it to its original shield. Don't put it on the top shield. Just make it to where it's only on the original shield, so you can still get maneuver armor. Once you get destroyed, it goes away. Just something, please. I'm begging you. But the suit is pretty good, though. So I'll give them props on that. So yeah, that'll be it, and I will see you guys later. Bye.